Okay. Today, we are talking about one of my favorite topics. And one of my favorite topics is to bash ultras in every single way I possibly can. Not the ultras in the fun way, but the like vigilante ultras. Because there's been an incident in France, and France has fan issues, quite frankly. They have a problem with violence and over the topness from their fans. They've had those issues. There's regularly at least one team that has some sort of points deduction in the table because of a fan incident. And the latest, greatest incident has come from OGC Nice, which is one of the more successful teams in France. Even right now, if we pull up the Ligue 1 table, you'll look at it, and Nice is going to be popping up in 10th. They've been terrible in Europe. Right, they're not going to make. I think it's the Europa League that they're in, but they don't even have a point. Right, they've just been diabolically bad. I'll pull it up. We'll make sure that we have it up. We have it as a reference. I think it's the Europa League. Yeah, they've lost all 5 matches they've played in the Europa League. They could win. Get 7 points out of their last 3 matches and miraculously get a playoff spot. They're probably not going to do that. So it's fool's gold. I mean, they're behind. I could say who they're behind, but they're behind everybody. Ludogorets, shout out. All the teams have more results. I mean, almost every team, all but 5 teams have at least one win in the competition. They don't even have a freaking point. So depression has set in for Nice when it comes to the Europa League, and obviously they have not been as good in the league as well. And then if we pull up their past results, they've been bad. They've not been good, right? I don't know how many in a row that they have lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've lost 6 matches in a row. 2 of those were Europa League matches. 1 was on the road against PSG in the league. But it was after this match that the real nonsense hit the fan. It was a home match against a Marseille team that, by the way, very good. Marseille is running right next to PSG and Lens at the top of the league. If they'd won their most recent match, they would be top of the league, but they drew against Toulouse, who didn't live up to their name for once, so good for them. This 5-1 loss was brutal. Not only because they gave up a couple of goals to Mason Greenwood, which just doesn't feel nice. It was a 5-1 home loss that is basically an announcement of Nice being separated from running around the top of the league, right? They're not making a serious push to be in those European places again. They're fumbling their European opportunity. It's a depressing time. But you know what is not an appropriate response to that? Is ever physical violence. It's just not. Like, I think about the logical leap it takes, right? It feels like, oh, well, they're just upset fans. Right? I've been a fan of a lot of bad sports teams. I have. My Tampa Bay Buccaneers were dog water for like 15 straight years. They were terrible. The year after they won the Super Bowl, we went like 6-10. Just awful. Bad team, immediately right back to trying to get number 1 picks with terrible records, losing almost every game they were playing. At no point, right? And I have as much emotional investment in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as any human being can have as an emotional investment in a club. Except for that one guy in Brazil that tattooed the entire jersey of his club on his body. I am not that invested. Outside of that, I'm there. If I saw the starting quarterback, if I saw Josh Freeman or Byron Leftwich, or one of these, Mike Glennon, one of these just bad quarterbacks the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had walking around. If I saw another example from the world of football, Chris Wondolowski, who missed an obvious chance to beat Belgium and send the U.S. to the World Cup quarterfinal for the first time since 2002 at the, 2014 World Cup, I think it was. The last thing that would cross my mind would be to physically attack them. Right? Like, I would probably be like, hey, maybe, if it was fresh, I would hope I would rise above this. I'd hit him with a fuck you. Like, fuck you, man. Come on. What are you doing? You suck. But physical violence, like the bridge that you have to cross to see, in this instance, a player getting off a bus and be like, yeah, I'm going to beat that guy up. And I'm going to call him racial slurs while I do it. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. Like, I put myself in that position where I'm like going to training to boo the players. And then the Rubicon that you have to cross, the bridge that you have to go over is so long. So, like to get to that point where you're going to physically attack somebody. But anyways, what happened here is Nice, after this loss against Marseille, was going to training, right? And Sunday night, fans of the French soccer club Nice assaulted players of the club's training ground hours after the side's sixth straight loss. According to the report from The Athletic, around 400 ultras showed up to the Nice training ground after the team returned from the airport and blocked the entrance. They blocked the entrance to the training ground. The team gets back from the airport, they land, they're going to the training ground to get in their cars and go home, and the ultras have blocked the entrance to the training ground. I mean, that's already on the line for me. You know what I mean? That's already on the line for me in terms of, like, I think great protest fandom is protests, don't go to games, chants, signs, you signed petitions, go to the damn club meetings or whatever. But you start like standing in front of the bus, blocking them going into training and demanding to speak to the team. That's just weird to me. That's weird. I mean, because at the same time, these players, even if you think they suck, then I will always blame, fairly or unfairly, Chris Wondolowski for missing that damn shot. I will always harbor that resentment. That is the price you pay to be a professional athlete, is that thousands, if not millions of people might form that opinion of you if you happen to do the wrong thing at the wrong time. But I am never going to stand in front of Chris Wondolowski's car where he's trying to go home. Right? These people have lives. They are human beings. They might suck at football and you might think they suck and you want to give them a piece of your mind and boo and whistle and call them shit. And as a fan, that is your right. We have socially decided that is your right, that you can do all of those things. They also probably deserve to go home without it. Like, they already got booed off the field by the away fan, like having to deal with all this in their last match. They got leather. You were at home. You gave them a piece of your damn mind after that 5-1 loss to Marseille. Blocking the bus is just a weird move to me. Right. And then two fans entered the bus and verbally accosted the team. And when the players disembarked, two were physically assaulted. Tarem Mofi and Jeremy Boga, who, by the way, are two of the best players on Nice. They claimed the fans hit them, pulled their hair, and spat on them as they tried to make their way from the team bus into the facilities. Now, this is a failure on multiple parts. One, where's the security? Right? If there are 400 fans blocking the entrance to the training ground, I'm not letting the team off the bus until those fans are very far away. There is a wall of security making sure they're nowhere near my players. The players aren't getting off the bus. I'm sorry. Sit on the bus for an hour. We're going to get the cops in here. We're going to make sure that these fans are not going to get anywhere near you. So I don't know what the club is doing in this situation. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why the team would be getting off the bus in this situation. But then also, just stand there and boo them. If you really want to send that message so aggressively, you can sit there at the edge of the training ground and just yell and boo. But crossing that physical line is absurd to me. It's absolutely absurd. It always is. And really, every single time this sort of thing happens, I come right back to the same conversation, the same argument that we always have around violent ultras in football, which is that they are using football to be degenerate. They are inherently degenerate. If you cannot control being physically violent towards another human being for any reason, like if you cannot keep yourself under control, and this isn't any reason. Like if if somebody breaks into your house, if somebody's threatening your loved ones, right? I don't mean any reason, right? There are, I don't know why I'm even having to add this caveat, but there's going to be that one person like, if you're never physically violent, you're just a pussy. Like what? Yeah, okay. If somebody's trying to kill me, I'm gonna break out the fists of goodness. You know what I mean? I'm gonna lay down the law with a couple of piston fires. But when you're not under threat from, I don't know, a couple of players on your favorite beloved do or die sports team, you need this the ultras violence thing is just an outlet for people that don't have the ability to control themselves. They are man babies. They're just man babies. They are. They should be prosecuted to the extent of the law. They should be put in jail for whatever it is, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a year or two. I don't know what the laws are in France around assault and apparently racially motivated assault. RMC Sport has reported that there were racial insults lobbed at the players. They were both black, by the way. But it's just this. It attracts losers, people that suck, people that have nothing better to do, people that respectfully, after your favorite sports team loses, don't let me tell you how to grieve. Don't let me tell you how to be a fan. But there should be an off-ramp on that highway before violently assaulting the players that have caused that. Whether that off-ramp is, I'm going to go play Minecraft for a little bit. Maybe I'm going to go for a run. Not that I'm ever doing that, but you get the idea. Maybe I'm going to go have 5 to 50 beers with these other friends of mine who are fans of this club to drown our sorrows. Maybe I'm going to camp out outside the training ground and boo these guys every single day until we win a match. You can do that. Hell, that'd be funny. You just can't attack them. You cannot physically assault them. You can't do it. Not in a healthy society should that be allowed. You just can't. You got to find some other way for this to be an outlet, and these people consistently cannot find another way for them to outlet this anger, this stress. Build a body pillow that looks like Tareem Mofi and assault that. Anything. Literally anything. Now, of course, these players have requested transfers, as they should. They're both looking to leave. Apparently, other players on Nice have also reached out to their agents to find moves away from the club. So as a result of this, perhaps the most hilarious ricochet effect is that these ultras, in an attempt to, I don't even know what you're attempting to accomplish here, express your displeasure and hope, I'm assuming if you're a fan of the club, you want the team to win, have now potentially made the team way worse. Because Tarim Mofa and Jeremy Moga, they are both some of the best players on the team. Sorry, Boga. I used to have him in my Football Manager save. But Tareem Mofi is a guy that everybody loves signing in Football Manager. Right? These guys are good players. Not only those two guys, but other players are looking to leave. Even the manager had to have some sort of weird come to Jesus moment. I was ready to leave. My bosses knew it. Sunday night's events were the last straw. I wondered what we'd done to deserve things like this. I understand expressing discontent, but there are ways to do it. Banners, booing, strikes, chants. That's what I'm saying. But what's next? I wouldn't have left for sporting reasons. He just said that basically he wanted to fight on to the last second, and so he's decided to stay. He's decided to stay on as the manager of Nice, but you almost lost your manager. You're losing some players because you couldn't keep your hands to yourself. These are kindergarten rules here. Kindergarten rules. Now, it is worth mentioning, because I know if I don't mention it, somebody's going to bring it up in the comments, that Mofi and Boga were targeted for various things that had to do with the Marseille game. They were mad at Tareem Mofi because he was talking to the president of Lorient, who they lost to 3-1. He's friends with the guy, which I don't get why people like that. Yeah, I don't get why people are always overly bothered with that. If you've ever played in a men's league and your friend's on the other team, it's not like you're not trying to beat that other team and then you go, oh yeah, let's go have a beer with that guy afterwards. Your friend just happens to be on the other team, but you're still trying to win the game. These guys, professional football is a small circle. You're going to know an exec, a scout, a coach, a player on the other team and not hate them. Right? And so he's standing there having a conversation, kind of hanging out after the loss. And the issue with Boga, who is literally from Marseille, by the way, is that he invited, I would assume, family members and friends to that Marseille match, but they happened to be Marseille fans, and so that was perceived as disloyal. But, look, there are I can perceive a player as disloyal if they're wearing the jersey of another team, if they're seen rooting publicly for another team in a way that somehow would harm your team, right? If they're high-fiving enemy fans after the match. I'm not somebody that's... I'm not an impossible person to convince that a player can be disloyal. But the idea that somebody who is from Marseille invites people from Marseille to the match that are Marseille fans, that are also family and friends of his, that is disloyal, it's a reach. It's a reach. You're looking for an excuse to be mad. And I do that sometimes. I'm an irrational fan too. But even if you're looking for that excuse to be mad, let's just not beat them up. We could do that. Let's just not beat them up. What do you say?